All right, welcome back to Day Trade Like a Pro. We are going to take a look here at a few different markets, and I want to show you a few different things that we use. I want to make sure that you understand the risks that are involved in trading futures. You can always find these on the bottom of every one of our web pages at www.daytradelikeapro.com. And of course you can see the URL here. So just make sure you understand the risk that's involved here. So let's go jump over here and look at this is an indicator that we have. We're looking at gold on a 60-minute chart, and this is an indicator that we have that we call backfill. So what I want to do is I want to just go back here a ways, and I want to just show you a few things. I want to highlight a few things that stand out to me. So I'm not going to use every one of these like this, but I am just going to give you an idea of some of the things that I'm looking for. So we'll just start right here. This should be fine. So we have backfill. Basically the way this works is we get this blue line that basically is saying the market should come back and test this level, and that there's basically institutional orders that are waiting here that never got taken, and so the market's saying this is going to come back here. This doesn't reprint, so it looks like this all the time. It was funny, I didn't know what reprinting even meant in an indicator until we became a vendor, because it just seems to me like that would be so useless. So it's kind of funny that somebody said, does this repaint? And I was like, I don't even know what that means. And so no, it doesn't repaint. And here you go. So here's what we're looking at. So right here, so I don't love, what I'm looking for is I would like to see this where there's been a little more activity. So I would need to go break this down on a smaller time frame. But I do see this right here. So I threw that green line on there so we can go look at one other thing on here. I just want to go back a ways. So I see that, I see that. And I'm looking for, I kind of need more of a reason. Okay, so that. So there's been a lot going on right here. So there are, I mean, this was a major sell-off and it kind of died out right there. Okay, so I'm not going to go back any further than that for this, but then I just want to pay attention to what time this was. So this was September 28th around midnight my time. And I'm going to go down to a much smaller time frame. I'm going to go down to a 10-minute. And I'm going to go back to that. So this is going to take a second to just get back here, but I wanted to walk you through this process of what I go through when I'm looking for something like this. So, okay, we're getting really close. So here is the 29th. So it started, okay, so you can see we have a one price here, or a backfill. One price is a different indicator. I'll show you that in a minute. So you can see we have this right here. So I'm looking at, here's what stands out to me on a 10-minute chart here. I'm going to basically have an area to sell that starts here at this blue line. I'm going to highlight it to there. So I know that the market is saying this was the level that we had on, well, technically it's that because I'm using the 60-minute chart. Okay. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, so I'm not sure if it even comes, where it comes back up into here. What I'd like to see in a perfect world scenario is the market would come right there. Maybe right there in the second, less perfect world scenario, but into this, in between here and here, ideally between here and here. So let's see how that shapes out here. So I want to just have a limit order to sell up in here, and then my risk is going to be above this. So let's see how this plays out. Bring this down a little bit. Okay, so here the market comes up into this area, and let's just see. Let me just make sure that my resolution here is good so you can see my screen. Yeah, let me make this a little bit easier to see, I think. Okay, that should be a bit easier to see. Here's the one price on the 10-minute chart. It came right up and tagged that. Or sorry, backfill. I'm not sure why I keep calling it one price. So there we go. So it came right up and tagged backfill on the 10-minute. And basically I just want to be short here. So where do I want to be short until? So we'll jump back over for a second here, but basically I just want to be short here off of this backfill price. It's 1745.8. And you could have done that with like 3 points of risk. So not terrible, especially because we're going to have a much, much bigger target. So let's go back here then and go look again at that same time frame. And so here's that trade. So I'm going to erase all of this stuff now that we know what we're looking for here. And so here's this. It came up into here, filled the trade over here. And oh no, sorry, filled the trade. Oh yeah, maybe that is where it, yeah, that's, so it came up here, it filled the trade right here. So this moved down here, came up here, filled the trade. And then I'm looking at what's my target. So at a minimum, I want, if I'm going to risk 3 points, I want 9 points on the other side of it. So this kind of stands out a little bit to me as something to pay attention to right here. So notice what I'm doing. I'm basically going the top of these down to this backfill price. So if we look right here, that's 40, and I said you could be in, let's just call it 46, and this top of this is 40. So there's enough room here that you could put this trade on, and if it comes down into here and doesn't follow through and comes back up, you could always get out at break even. So, which is how I would treat it. Now, I want to point something out. You see what happened? The market came down into here, probed through one price. I'm not sure in which, or sorry, backfill. And I'm not sure how this actually worked, in which order this was. I'm guessing it came down, opened, came up here. Notice where it held, just right here in that area that I drew in, which I drew in using this over here. And then probed through here a little bit, and then eventually we lost that area. So that's just one example. There's another school of thought of trading this, which is basically I'm looking for areas. Since this prints over here, I'm looking at areas where I can buy. So for example, once this prints right here, I could be now looking to buy anywhere between here and here. And this, you know, maybe you got in here, maybe you didn't, until it comes back up and fills that. So that's just one school of thought with this. So over here, I don't see a whole lot of maybe buying off of here because of this. So right here to right there. So if I can make that make sense, there's a bit of a move out of here, but then don't really love this. So not really super great. A much better example would be this kind of a move. So here's this, prints, comes right back to it right there, but not enough to fill. It was like maybe a tick or two away. So then I want to look back over here on this side of my chart, so you can see right here, I see this. I'm probably going to go down to there, but really ideally it would just hold like right there. But I'm probably going to go down to there. And so here's, boom, now I want to buy this when it comes back here. So it comes back, notice where it comes back to. I'm going to erase this. Comes back, hits backfill, and then takes off from there. Okay, so now I want to be looking to sell here. So this comes down, comes back up. I want to sell here or here or whatever. It doesn't really matter. This is a gap in here. So I just want to sell this, and then that's a nice move down there. Lot of levels here, so you could obviously have sold this and that worked out, but I'm thinking a little bit higher, yeah. So maybe a little bit higher even still, but you can definitely do both of these. So okay, so here now we get what we want is if this, you know, we really want to see, there's a lot of backfill prices here. So if they can start holding something as support, okay, so here we go. So remember when we were back over here and I said probably a little bit higher still, so bigger picture, comes back up, tags right here. Pretty nice move down. Notice where it moves down to, right here. So right into that area, really close. And then moves up here. Isn't this amazing how it comes back to these backfill prices? I mean, look, big move down, comes up, hits it, sells off, comes back up, hits it, sells off, comes back up, hits it, sells off, comes back up, hits it, and then this is a big, massive move. So, alright, so now I start looking at the same kind of thing. I'm kind of resetting, moving over here again. So this one was kind of used over here, which would have worked. You could have said from right there down to right there. So the kind of this whole area is what I'm looking at. It doesn't have to be that tick. And then obviously move up out of it. We get the backfill price. It pulls back down into it right here, and it takes off. Big, big move. So 30 points or something from there. And then if we come back over here, we're looking, okay, so now I'm thinking this one other thing, it's a little bit more advanced, but just as an example, this is something right there. Here's, this now becomes, so it fails on this side to hold, so now I could use it for selling on the other side. So let's see, it came back up, it held in here, decent sell-off. At this point I'm thinking, okay, it didn't work for follow-through for lower, so I'm thinking there's no more institutional money selling there. So maybe back up here, let's just throw a line right here. And I would have to go back and look and see if this is something I would do, but yeah, so there, that, so we would have to look at like a lower time frame, but okay, so there's the probe up above it and then comes back down. So yeah, not something that I'm crazy about. And then notice where this one comes back to, back into the same range that we talked about before, comes back, big explosive move out of here. Notice what happens here, comes back to this red line. We are buying off that red line. It comes up here, comes back to this red line, buying off that red line. Not a lot of follow through. Okay, so now it flips, and now look at all these prices. Now I'll just show you this, and then we'll look at one other thing and we'll wrap it up. So let's see what happens here. We're going to get rid of all of our drawing tools, and let's just watch how it comes back here. Comes back, touches, and then where does it come back to? Basically really close to this backfill. These all fill, but really close to this one. There's an opportunity to buy that's kind of a momentum trade. And these are 60 minutes. These are going to be a little bit longer. You know, some of these you might end up holding for a couple of days if you're looking for that. You can do this on any time frame. So backfill changes on different time frames. So and then where? Really close to here. There we go. Touches right there. So let's see. Yeah, we want to give this to right here. So it'd look like this up to there. And let's just see how that plays out. Alright, so no big selling, no big reaction from here. So, you know, like you're 4 hours, 5 hours into this. If there was big money selling there, it would have happened. You know, it just shouldn't take this long. Whenever you get a big move like this, though, I'm definitely looking for an area. So I'd be looking back over here and I'd be saying, do I see somewhere that I can sell in this area? I'm going to mark that off, and I'm going to scroll back over here. So you can see this was a move down, stalled out, big move down again. Anyway, so that's just sort of a little, you know, for me, that's what one of the things I'm looking for. Okay, here's your backfill price. It comes right back. It looks like it touches it to the tick right here. And then we can be selling that all the way down to here. It comes up here. We can sell that. No follow through for, you know, 2 hours. Okay. Let's get rid of all the drawings on here. And then what are we looking for next? So here's this. We can sell that. There's a decent sell-off from there. Comes back up above here. The only thing I don't love about this is just you could put this in for buying, but there's a ton of, it's a big open, you know, a lot of risk. But we should get back up to here. So here we go, we're up to there, bit of a probe through that, and then selling that again, and that brings us into current. Right now we have a backfill price at 1787.7 or point 0.8. So we have yeah, 0.8. So we have this on the website under this is key turn, or this is backfill, and we have all the training available on the website. So feel free to go check that out. And I just wanted to show you something that I look at that I think can bring an advantage into your trading, especially if you're looking for something different, and it works on any market. And I just thought I'd show you this on gold because we don't look at gold a lot, but you can see clearly there's a lot of opportunities here. Do all of them work? No, that's not the point. You don't need all of them to work. So there is what we are looking at on here. You can just kind of get an idea. Anyway, all the training, we actually made that available. It used to be for people who only owned this. So here's another one. So we made this available. We're back into July. So there's plenty of opportunities in here. It's just finding it, managing your risk, and then putting the trade on and letting it play out. So go check this out on the website, daytradelikeapro.com, and I will see you next week with a new video. Thanks for tuning in today.